Great, fantastic, marvelous morning. It's a new day, it's a new year, but I believe it's a new moment, a moment that will never ever come again. Welcome back to Free Conversation with Edwina B. That's me, y'all. And I want to thank my creator of it all for waking me up and touch me with the gift of life just for this day. And so, as we embark upon the year of 2024, I'm going to keep it real simple and say I'm going to embark on every day as if it is the last day of my life. Why? Because nothing is promised. The next moment is not promised. Your next breath is not promised. So, therefore, I'm going to practice to the best of my ability to live in each and every moment and utilize the spiritual tools that have been given to me over the years. So, let me start off by saying, let's have a drink of coffee and let's get comfortable because we're just going to have a conversation. The spiritual tools that I am talking about and referring to are the 12 step spiritual principles adopted by the Alcoholics Anonymous Fellowship that started back in 1935. However, for the last 33 plus years, I've been a part of that spiritual journey, and it has and still continues to change my life, moving upward and out to embrace the universe and practice embracing it with unconditional love for myself and for others. And so I just didn't come up with that mindset because it's been a number of years that took me to get to this place. So that's why we just going to have a conversation, okay? And we're also going to provide an overview, of what's been happening for me during the year of 2023, right? And so I wanted to start off January the 1st, 2024. Normally I would start at 6:30, but because I'm getting back into the groove, it started today at 6:40. And I also need to upload it to my Facebook business page as well as my Facebook personal page. But right now, I'm live on YouTube. To God be the glory. And so, as I continue to utilize the spiritual tools that I've been practicing over the past 33 plus years, it has been an amazing journey. And I want to share my journey with you. And guess what? I want you to share your journey with me and to others. Why? Because I believe wholeheartedly that we are born to serve. Yes, we are born to serve. When I first embarked on that phrase of we are born to serve, I had a different definition, a different perspective. Yes, I didn't quite understand it. Why? Because I was trying to apply my humanness to that statement, but learned that I have to apply my spiritual knowledge to what that really means. And so I just like to get on here and kick it with you and share some of my perspectives, my new awareness, and definitely my spiritual growth. So Now I'm going to get into it because 2023 for me is represented the number 7 in terms of the year of completion. And I used Dr. Sonia of P3 University saying that, yes, year 7 is the end of completion, but year 8 is a new beginning. And so I kept to my commitment and said, no excuses, no excuses, no excuses. Just do it. So if this is an indication that I've started on that journey by being on here this morning right now, guess what? I'm on the right spiritual path. You know, when we talk about having a conversation, you may go from this topic to that topic, and a lot of times a lot of times I may be over here and over there, but I practice listening to myself, right? Instead of hearing myself, because when I listen to myself, then I'm cognitive of what I'm saying opposed to just talking, right? That makes sense? I told you, listen, right? That makes sense. And so if this is a new day, a new moment, a new year, and a new beginning, then I want to be able to reflect on my 2023 year of experiences, right? Inclusive, holistically, right? And the reason why, because of this statement right here, right? Free to hope. Think about that. Free to hope. Free to hope. Free to hope. That means the world to me. Free. Free to be me. Free to be transparent. Free to be authentic. Yes. Yes. If you haven't experienced that freedom, then guess what? Hurry up, because it's nothing like being free spiritually. Because when I am free spiritually and utilize spiritual tools, then any and everything on this earthly journey as a human, I can deal with, right? And so 33 plus years in recovery from addiction, alcoholism, prostitution, the whole lifestyle. Yes, the whole lifestyle for 14 years in the streets of Philadelphia. Yes. But on January of 1990 was the beginning of my rise to the final fall. That makes sense? Because I was experiencing some very, 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 very devastating challenges on January of 1990. And for the entire month up until February the 22nd of 1990, I experienced and had my knee bowing experience. In the scripture, it says, every knee shall bow and every mouth will confess that he is. I didn't know that. No. But February the 22nd of 1990, when I talk about freedom from addiction, freedom to hope, freedom to faith, freedom to be authentic and transparent was elusive to me. Now, I had to experience my knee bowing experience while underneath a parked car in the streets of Philadelphia, 3 o'clock in the morning, after getting high with my own stepson and doing all kinds of sexual favors for him because he too was in his addiction. Let's take a drink of coffee. So during that time, I was 34 years old, just had turned 34 that prior December. And my addiction had elevated to an unbelievable level. And that's why I said the rise of my fall to have a new beginning, right? And so while underneath that parked car, keeping my stepson from hurting me, after everything was said and done, and under the influence, we transform. And so as I placed myself underneath that parked car, 3 o'clock in the morning, it was because of a flashback that I got from my past as a child. See, I've learned that our past experiences cannot be erased, cannot be changed. We need to accept them, become aware of them, and begin to put them in their proper perspective. But I didn't know none of that at the time. So when I got a flashback from my past, going underneath the bed when I was afraid, when I didn't want nobody to find me, when I didn't want nobody to hurt me, I put myself underneath that bed. And so as I ran from my stepson, I saw the bottom of the cars. And I said, if I just get underneath one of those cars, he can't get to me. I only weighed 90 pounds. My face was all sunken in. My hair was all matted. I was missing teeth. My skin was dark. I was beyond a mess. I was beyond a mess. At that point, it didn't matter. What mattered was seeking refuge underneath that car to save my life. Let's take another drink of this coffee because I'm ready to go someplace, right? When you talk about the number 7 in terms of completion and the number 8 in terms of new beginnings, what I'm about to share will emphasize those two numbers in a spiritual way. Because while underneath that parked car, I was going through a spiritual transformation unbeknownst to me. But then again, when I think about it, it was no longer about the physical. It was more about a spiritual experience that I never had. Yes. And so while underneath that parked car with my face literally on the ground, I began to get flashbacks, right? And so of how at the age of 34, I am underneath this parked car. So the rapes, the beat ups, the suicide attempts, the lifestyle, all of that, right? How did I get underneath a parked car at the age of 34? I had dreams of being a model, an actress, a phys ed teacher. Yeah, but for 14 years, I was in a progressive addiction. And so when I talk about free to hope, that didn't become evident until I had this experience. And so while going through that recalling of how I got there, somewhere deep, 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 down inside of me came these words. Whoever they say you are, whoever they say you are, take me out this life now or show me a better way. That was the moment of the end of that addiction and the beginning of choosing a new way of life, but giving that decision to a power greater than me that I knew nothing about. When I said those words, I wasn't taken out. I wasn't zipped out like people say they walk on water, bring you back to life. I lived. And so when I came from underneath that car, something, and I know now what it is, just took over. And I raised my hands. I said, I'm done. I'm done. Wherever you tell me to go, I'm going to go. Whatever you want me to do, I'm going to do. However long it takes, that's how long it takes. I am done. There was that day on February the 23rd was my new beginning. And on February the 22nd of 1990 was the end of my addiction. And so being put on a pathway to recovery, yes, being involved and being directed to attend a 12-step program started the pathway to my spiritual growth, right? While still experiencing the wreckage of my past, but something was different, obviously. And I know now what it was. I had a made-up mind. I had a made-up mind. And someone later on said to me, Edwina, you were ready as a student for the teacher to appear. You were ready as a student so that the teacher could appear. And that made sense to me when I heard that. But that was the beginning of this new beginning of learning to unlearn the things I learned to put me underneath that parked car. Did you get that? Replay the tape. It was the beginning for me to learn, to unlearn everything I had learned to put me underneath that parked car. It was the end, but it also was the beginning. And that's why I said free from recovery, I emerge empowered one day at a time because I remain that student and teachers continuously appeared. And now when we talk about the hope, free to hope, and that's what I mean by going back and realizing that we were born to serve. It was my obligation, my duty to go back and help somebody else who was in the same predicament I was. And yes, so free to hope, from recovery, emerge empowered to help others prosper equally. Okay, so that's what I meant by we are born to serve. Now, I only have a few minutes, to give you an overview of 2023, but I needed to set the foundation of why I am resuming on a new level, a more spiritual and increased level of my growth in order to give it to you. And so I sit here before you, humble as I can be, transparent as I can be, authentic as I can be. No makeup, no wigs, no nails, no nail polish. These teeth are dentures. I usually take them out to show you how transparent and authentic I am. Because I'm free. I've been set free. In the 12-step reflection reading for today, it says, I am a miracle. So 2023, I embarked on more spiritual tools. Dr. Sonia of P3 University, the Uiz family, the 4 agreements. Yes. And my continuation of my 12-step spiritual program. I utilized all of them to be where I am today, but to face any and all challenges that I had and welcomed in 2023. Yes, I've learned to apply spiritual principles to all earthly matters so that I give nothing and nobody and no one the power ever again to put me back underneath that parked car. No, I'm sorry. But it was the journey of learning how to go back, utilize these spiritual tools, the 12 steps, the information from Dr. Sonia, and the 4 agreements, right? To go back to figure out that there was nothing wrong with you, Edwina. You needed to find out what happened to you. Yes. And because I was and am still a willing servant and participant in my own recovery, my only goal is to help one more. And so, in closing, let me give you a quick summary of 2023. I joined Dr. Sonia P3 University movement, I will say, back in February of 2023. That set the foundation for me to utilize what this awesome woman of God had, but from a practical point of view. So thank you, Dr. Sonia Strickland, for helping me set that foundation. I was also introduced to the 4 agreements by the Uiz family. Oh, man. And simultaneously, I was still involved in my 12-step spiritual program. And so, any and all challenges, opportunities that I faced in 2023, I applied all those spiritual tools. And I'm going to say one of the greatest gifts of 2023 was the invitation for me to take another family member in and help take care of them. Yes. Recovery is about being prepared for things yet to come. So one of my greatest gifts was having my sister slash niece, Helen Sabrina Hall, to bring her up from Augusta, Georgia, back to the East Coast into my house to help take care of her, like I took care of her mother, her grandmother, and 11 other family members. See, we are born to serve. The jobs, the careers, the this, the that. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? That was the biggest gift. Simultaneously, her brother, my nephew, Sion Sinclair Hall, was released from prison. And the two of them have been united with the help of me being of service to both of them. Yes, yes. That's what my mama would have done, and I am my mother's child. So I'm going to stop there because I could go on, but I want to stick to the schedule and be obedient. So tomorrow, if God chooses to wake me up and you up, then we will have the free conversation with Edwina B. Enjoy this day. Enjoy this moment. Look to be of service to someone else. And look to do it with love that's unconditional. Yes, unconditional. But I will also say that I have more to talk about, one day at a time. Be blessed. If you need a speaker, a coach, a consultant, call to book me so that I can share with you how the pathway to transparency and authenticity set me free. From recovery, emerge empowered to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. Enjoy.